Hey everybody, Ralph Havens here, autoimmuneanswers.com. And I got a great email from somebody um, I used to work with, hopefully work with her again at some point. And she had been going through a really, really hard time. And then she had this big epiphany after watching one of the videos and doing some of the stuff that she's been doing. And it reminded me of something that happened with me. You know, when I was a little kid, my stepdad and my mom decided to take a bunch of money that was given to us because my uncle Carlos had died. And so my grandparents had given us a ton of money. In today's dollars, it would have been well over $300,000, maybe even more now. And we were to build a house, live a good life out in Del Rio, Texas, West Texas. And so they bought some land and they were building this house and big place, giant place. And they had this dream of having a big clinic where my mom, who had just gotten her PhD, would have people from all over the world come see her. Kind of sounds familiar, huh? And kind of funny how we follow in certain footsteps. And the house was actually in the shape of an H for my name, Havens. And I could just envision all my friends coming over and we were going to be rich. And it was out close to Lake Amistad, this beautiful lake. And I just had this feeling of like, oh, this is going to be so good. And we worked so hard. But my dad had a bunch of issues, some of them being extremely paranoid and angry and antagonistic and thinking the whole world was out to get him. And he didn't finish it out. And it all fell down after just sitting there unfinished for years. We've blown through all that money. And then it fell down in a big storm. And then he blamed everybody and said that somebody had torn it down. But it had not been finished for years. You can't survive in West Texas if you're a building and you don't get finished out, So I saw it all fail. And when my dad died many years ago, back in the 80s, I thought my mom's going to be okay now. She's going to come back because she had become very paranoid and very isolated. And they had moved to the woods in Kentucky. Kind of sounds familiar too, right? Like we've been living out in the woods. And so a while back, many years ago, I worked on my sister when I first learned matrix energetics and worked on my sister, my sister's kids. And we had a great time around Christmas and they had all sorts of headaches and neck pain and back pain and all sorts of knee pains all go away. And we were laughing and we were having a great time. Showed them all this magic. And then unexpectedly, they got college paid for. So we were having some issues like, how are we going to pay for college? And I always thought, I got to figure out how to get rich so I can pay for their college. Well, a big bunch of money came in unexpectedly, this big grant we had no idea was there. And then all of a sudden it's there and wow, they get to keep going to the University of Texas. So that was cool. But then what happened a few weeks later was my mom, who had been isolated, who didn't have a cell phone, who was like avoiding us and just very scared, very paranoid. She fell and she broke her arm. And she had to literally crawl her way to a neighbor who was quite a bit distance away. And they called the ambulance and got her into the hospital and had surgery and fixed up her arm. I think she had surgery. They fixed up her arm and she stayed in the hospital. And then she actually enjoyed being around people. And she loved the physical therapist and she knew I was a physical therapist and she got a cell phone and she started talking to my sister every week and I would talk to her every once in a while. And my sister at one point said, Mommy is normal. She's normal. She's normal. And so they went to visit her and all sorts of stuff was changing. Now, what's kind of interesting was she let me just turn this off. She has choices and, long story short, she started reverting back to her old ways. And after years, she's given up her cell phones and she's isolated and I've come to let it go. There's probably some deep hurt in me somewhere, but I don't notice it. It doesn't seem to be on my attention. But who knows what drives us, right? What drives us to do what we do? For some reason, I ended up living out in the woods and I ended up wanting to help people all over the world with healing stuff. And one thing that one of my coaches said when people were asking him, like, how do you work so little? He only works 20 hours a week, but he makes millions of dollars a year. And he does a lot of really good work in the world. He's helped me a lot. And he said, the secret to working less is to start working less. And so years ago, I decided that I wanted to make sure I stayed with my family and hung out with Jen and Ben. And I wanted to be there and have fun and not like work years and then get to this thing and then nobody likes me or something. So I decided to have Tuesday as our family day. Friday is my day with my boys. Of course, Saturday and Sunday are my family days. And the work figured itself out. And so this woman that I just emailed with, wonderful woman. And she's been going through all sorts of stuff and trying to run this business and then trying to run her dad's business and trying to get healthy in a relationship and all this stuff. And she had this big epiphany of what she really wanted. And so she's going to just go do it. And she doesn't know what's next and she doesn't know how to do it, but she's going to just go do it. And the universe has our backs, right? The universe has our backs. God has our back. Spirit, energy, field, it has us covered. So what you might want to do is think about, what do you really want? I mean, really. And then if you want to, kind of like what I did and what my friend on the other side of the world just told me about today is you might want to just see, let's just do it, huh? Let's just do it. And let's see where we go next. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you want. Let me know what's going on. I've got like 1 bar on my computer, so it's going to stop here pretty soon. But comment below, subscribe, share this, and let me know what it is you truly want. What is it you really want? All right, everybody. I will see you all later. Let's get out there and live. Let's really live. Bye now.